Money shouldn't be stressful. It should be a tool to help you live your destiny. But the thoughts of debt, savings, and how to create opportunities for financial freedom, yeah, that can be overwhelming. Financial expert and TEDx speaker Janine Letford is here to give us 4 creative tools to help pay off our debt. Welcome to the show, Janine.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, what are these 4 tools? Because I think I could use them. I'm sure a lot of our viewers could use them too.
Well, the interesting about my journey was I found myself $100,000 worth of debt with a UCLA degree, wondering how I got there. So I just started to see what I could do creatively to really attack the debt. The first thing was to lay everything out clearly and to look at my emotions at it. So I really started to celebrate every little win that I employed.
Okay, so that's the first step?
Yes.
What comes
really
after?
just the clear and then the celebration once you just knock off.
And I guess you really have to be honest in this process.
Yes. Really just, I call it the monster in the closet. Just putting things away, ignoring the bills isn't going to get the problem solved. So just laying everything out clearly and just being emotionally positive is to me is the first step.
I think positivity is a good motto to go by almost in anything. Okay, so what would be the next step?
Well, just communication is key. It's key in relationships, it's key in so many areas, but the creditors don't want you to charge anything off. They want you to communicate. So like I had a credit card bill and the interest rate went from like 27% down to 4% because I picked up the phone and communicated let them know what happened. So they're
human too, is that what you're saying?
Yes, and they want to make sure that you have the ability to just, get the debt taken care of.
And I think that's what the fear is. Once you start to accumulate some debts or bills, you're like, oh, how am I going to deal with this? And you don't even want to talk about it.
Yes.
Much less reach out to the person you owe money to.
But they're willing to work with you depending on the corporation.
Okay, great. And you're saying we can also combine our creativity and money for our own $1 million idea. I don't know if I have one.
Yes, you do. You are brilliant. And the guests on your show are all creative in their own ways. What I do now in my research is I look at our creative abilities, not necessarily artistic. Artistry is important, but a lot of people think they're not creative because they're not excellent in the arts. Creativity is just problem solving with relevance, novelty, and new ideas. And so I had to look at I call them my diamonds. My diamonds of my gifts and talents, and how could I look at them with a different framework and entrepreneurially bring them to market. So I love photography, I love painting like one of your guests, and I even love dancing, but how could I bring that to service? So I started making money doing like baptisms and on the side, and I did a friend's dance show, and I filmed, and I started to just different things that I just did for fun. I switched it and started earning money to increase my income to pay off the debt faster.
So you're actually using, I guess, some of your passions to make that debt go away and be successful. So you've got to change the way you look at what you're doing and what that debt represents.
Where your gifts are. Because people will pay you for your gifts, and people will pay you to be an expert in the fields that you're called to be an expert.
Gotcha. And you have this book. You've written about these things that you've been researching and I guess, implemented in your own life.
Yes, for us to be...
talk about this book. What other kinds of things were you going to find in it?
Well, in 2015, we eradicated all the debt. You will find, my degree's in psychology, so you will find the psychological components there. Consumerism. Now, a lot of financial educators, they say, do the budgets and lay out all the debt, but they don't look at the other side of it. You're getting pummeled, or you're getting both of the sides of overspending or attaching your value to some of the things when you need to know that your value is important just because of who you are, not because of some of the materials you have.
I think that's important because I think a lot of times we're shaped by the attitudes we had about money and finances, like from our parents or just things we learned in college.
And that's in there too. I call them money blueprints. So looking at, what was the relationship with your parents growing up? Your subconscious mind is very important. So really taking the time to look at how you form your money relationship and then seeing what that looks like in your own household.
Is it hard to switch it in your mind? And look at it? I mean, that sounds like a big education right there, just to change your attitude about money or finances.
Well, you can't fix what you don't confront, and you can't confront what you don't identify. So the first step is identification and being truthful. If you love to spend, if you're, that person, be like, okay, but now how can I regulate it so it's now a reward as opposed to something I just do nonchalantly. So now you're just being intentional. 2020 is about intention, right? It's a foundational year, being intentional about where your money goes and make sure your money is going to head towards what you want your destiny to be.
So what's the biggest takeaway you think from the book?
Freedom. We want to be free. We want to be free to create. We want to be free to develop. what we're called to develop during our short time here, and the fact that our school system doesn't really do the best job giving our kids a financial foundation. I think that that really reading this book and getting it sooner in life than later is important for you to really just have a hold to your freedom and the life that you want.
All right, Janine, great tips. Thank you for being here and sharing with us about financial freedom.
Thanks. And just to make sure that people know that they can download the book for free within the next two days, just go to JanineLetford.com.
Check it out. All right.
This interview involves commercial content. The products and services featured appear as paid advertising.